The Prince's Release. Once, in a grand kingdom surrounded by lush forests and towering mountains, there lived a young prince named Siddhartha. Siddhartha was born into luxury and privilege, the only son of King Suddhodana and Queen Maya. From the moment he was born, it was clear that Siddhartha would one day inherit the throne and rule over the prosperous kingdom. As a child, Siddhartha had everything one could imagine: beautiful palaces, delicious feasts, countless servants, and rare jewels. But despite all the comforts and material wealth surrounding him, there was a deep sense of emptiness in his heart. His father, King Suddhodana, did everything in his power to shield Siddhartha from the harsh realities of the world. The young prince was kept inside the palace walls, surrounded by beauty and luxury, with the intention of preventing him from witnessing the suffering of the outside world. But one day, curiosity got the better of Siddhartha. He asked his charioteer, Channa, to take him on a ride outside the palace. As they ventured through the streets of the city, Siddhartha witnessed sights he had never imagined. He saw an old man with wrinkled skin, bent and frail from age. He saw a sick man, feverish and weak, lying on the side of the road. And then, he came upon a funeral procession, where the body of a deceased person was being carried to the cremation ground. Siddhartha was deeply disturbed by these encounters. He had never known that such suffering existed. Channa, the prince asked with wide eyes, "What is this? Why do people age? Why do they get sick? Why must they die?" Channa, though troubled by the prince's questions, responded, "These are the natural realities of life, Your Highness. All beings are subject to aging, sickness, and death. This is the way of the world." Siddhartha's heart felt heavy with this newfound knowledge. He returned to the palace, his mind filled with questions and uncertainties. He couldn't shake the thought that all the wealth and luxury in the world couldn't shield him from these inevitable truths. He realized that despite his riches, he too would one day grow old, become ill, and face death. In the days that followed, Siddhartha grew increasingly restless. He could no longer ignore the suffering that lay beyond the palace walls. He began to question his own life, his attachment to his wealth, his position, and the material comforts that surrounded him. He realized that these attachments only brought him temporary pleasure, and they could not offer lasting peace or happiness. One evening, Siddhartha made a decision that would change his life forever. He quietly slipped away from the palace in the dead of night, leaving behind his family, his royal title, and all the wealth that had once defined his existence. He sought something deeper, something beyond the fleeting joys of power and possessions. He desired true freedom, freedom from attachment, from the cycle of suffering, and from the illusions of the material world. Siddhartha traveled far and wide, meeting many wise teachers along the way. He practiced rigorous meditation, fasting, and extreme forms of asceticism in an effort to find the answers he sought. Yet, despite all his efforts, he still found no lasting peace. He realized that neither indulgence in luxury nor self-denial could lead to true happiness. Both extremes, he discovered, were forms of attachment, one to pleasure, the other to suffering. One day, as Siddhartha sat beneath a tree by the river, exhausted and weary from his search, a deep realization arose in him. He understood that the key to true freedom lay not in renouncing the world completely, but in finding balance. It was not through clinging to wealth and power, nor through denying the body's needs, but through letting go of attachment altogether. He understood that true happiness could only be found in letting go of the desire to control, to possess, and to hold on to things that were fleeting. With this newfound wisdom, Siddhartha sat down under the great Bodhi tree and vowed not to rise until he had found the answer to his quest for peace. For days and nights, he meditated deeply, his mind focused on the present moment, free from desires and distractions. In time, he achieved enlightenment, realizing that happiness comes not from external circumstances, but from within. The attachments that bind us to the world, whether to wealth, power, or even relationships, are the root cause of suffering. True freedom comes when we release these attachments and live in harmony with the impermanence of life. It was at that moment of awakening that Siddhartha became the Buddha, the enlightened one. He had found the peace he had been seeking, not through the pursuit of material wealth or power, but through the renunciation of attachment and the cultivation of inner peace. Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to give it a like, share it with others who might benefit, and subscribe to the channel for more valuable content like this. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.